The Justice Department's Inspector General released its long-awaited 600-page report into the FBI's Clinton email investigation on Thursday. In the report, former Director Comey is criticized for breaking long-standing DOJ policy when he did his famous press conference, claiming Hillary Clinton did not break the law, instead calling Clinton's actions extremely careless. And the report revealed in text messages deep political bias in the FBI by several agents against then-candidate Trump. Was the FBI in the tank for Hillary? Welcome to Vegas Lawyer. My name's Christian Morris, a Las Vegas personal injury attorney. I'm here today with Darren Heyman. Hi, Darren.
Hi, Christian.
International immigration attorney.
Yes.
Good to have you here. Yes, I am, and a good one at that. I'm also here with Aisha Mehdi. She is a healthcare attorney.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We are talking about the report that recently came out, which is frankly embarrassing, from the DOJ's watchdog, which really does reveal some of the biases of the FBI, a agency that is not supposed to be biased, and a lot of things that went down regarding Comey's actions and what's going on in there. And you know what I think was really telling was some of the text messages, some of the emails that we saw. You know, President Trump he's not going to be president, right?
Right.
We're going to make sure Trump isn't president. I mean, this really gives us some really important insight on how the FBI thinks, how our tax dollars are being used.
Well, I mean, to be fair, so basically this whole thing had two components to it. It had the component of the Comey aspect and the Clinton emails, and it also had to do with the FBI agents who were looking to actually influence the election. I am not going to go so far to say that the entire FBI was pro-Hillary. I think all we have a spotlight on are those who were anti-Trump.
But I mean, those are the people in power in the FBI. Let's be fair
Right.
about that.
Well, Comey
the bad apples, but the bad apples are at the top.
But fair enough. But Comey actually, they found he didn't have any bias. Now, I would call into question the Inspector General, because basically it's similar to you're asking the police to police themselves, right? So
Right.
the Inspector General is a part of the Department of Justice, supposed to be the watchdog of it, and so if he shows the Justice Department in a bad light and the FBI in a bad light, he's basically showing himself in the bad light, right? So I think there were a lot of issues there that were glossed over. The fact that, for instance, Clinton's emails, she lied in her investigation. She said that she did not send any emails to Obama, and they found emails to and from Obama on these servers. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, the FBI did not put her under oath when they actually questioned her.
So
right?
She's allowed to lie as long as she's not under oath.
I mean, that's what the bottom line was. The Investigator General said, I am not going to question the FBI's right to choose whether or not to prosecute.
See, the way I see this report is they're trying to attempt to look fair by showing the bias, but basically finding no fault with what the FBI did.
They said there was no bias when it came to Comey. They found bias when it came to the FBI agents.
But no
such as
danger
Strzok.
for that, just they had to state the obvious. Correct? I mean, they're really not doing anything with it.
I don't think it was obvious to half of the country, unfortunately.
I kind of agree with that. You're absolutely correct. So what do you think, Aisha? I mean, when you look at the way the report is written, I mean, it's a long report. There's a lot of information in there. Does it seem to be revealing everything? Is it being a watchdog to the FBI like the Inspector General is supposed to be?
I think so, and I think you're right. They're trying to bring FBI back in the good light, trying to show that it's like a neutral fact-finding organization.
See, I think they're revealing a lot of the bias because they have to, but they're really not hitting home with it. They're not doing anything about it. They're just kind of like putting it out there, but saying, hey, they didn't do anything
Putting them
wrong.
on notice.
Yeah, as best they, I mean, I think they're doing exactly what they can do with that type of information. Reveal it, but say, well, we're not really going to do anything about it.
Is that what they're doing? That they're saying
That's
we're
the
not
way
going
I
to do
see
anything?
it. I mean, what are they going to do? They basically said Comey didn't do anything wrong, Clinton didn't do anything wrong, but yeah, sure, we see some bias.
Yeah, I disagree. I mean, I do see the bias in that whole report. Everybody does, and it shows that the
We're
FBI...
not going to let Trump be president? Yeah, is that clear enough for us?
But you know, I just have to say this, like, you know, I'm a Muslim, so for me, I'm scared of the FBI. A lot of us are, you know, so for me to find out that there's so much corruption in the FBI is a little disheartening. And also like, okay, so if they're coming after us, then they may have issues and there may be political motives behind that. And this is what the report is showing to me.
You know what I thought about when I read this entire thing is it really does show how powerful Trump was as a candidate. Because you could have multiple government agencies against you. You can have the FBI saying we're not going to let Trump be president, and Trump still wins. I
Won
mean,
by a landslide.
yes,
right?
yes, which is actually quite impressive when you look at it and you see all of the obstacles that people who are outside of Washington are up against when they try to get into Washington. And someone like Hillary Clinton, who is, I mean, she is bought and sold Washington. I mean, there is just no one who could
She
not
doesn't
be
only
any more of
play
an
the game,
insider.
she and her husband wrote the rules.
They did. They wrote the
they
rules
still
and
lost.
exactly. It's amazing. So
Thank God.
interesting take on it. That's all the time we have for this segment. Thank you for joining us.
Newsflash. Local attorney Paul Patter wins a $160 million verdict against a strip casino.
Paul Patter got me a $160 million verdict.
In a wreck, need a check? Don't settle for pennies on the dollar. At Paul Patter Law, we know how to win. We recently received one of the largest verdicts in Nevada history, $160 million. As I always say, don't get mad, get legal.
Paul Patter got me a $160 million verdict.